So it begins. Obviously, I am David Bender. My day job is actually working here at the Philadelphia Center for Architecture. Thank you. But today I am not talking about architecture. I'm not an architect. Not trained as an architect, know nothing about architecture. But what I do know something about are ensouled objects. So what is an ensouled object, you might ask? In fact, I think the next slide asks that very question. Can you tell I'm vamping here? Ensouled objects are objects that people have created to seem alive. It could be a robot, it could be a puppet, it could be something as simple as that little glowing button on your Macintosh computer, the way it sort of breathes in and out, that it's showing you it's sleeping, sort of like little breath. So what can ensouled objects help us do? They can help us relive the past. Here's Cunningham Player Piano. Cunningham, located up in Philadelphia. Still building player pianos. You can record a performance and actually watch the performer still perform the performance even after they die. It's pretty darn cool. The piano itself seems to come to life with the ghost of the musician. You should have planned out the timing a little better. They can inspire us. So this is the Merriday Automata at the Franklin Institute. It's an amazing mechanical device that uses these cams and gears to make this boy write one poem in French and draw 4 or 5 drawings. And it's all recorded on these little mechanical wheels. Truly an amazing mechanical marvel. They can help us be where we're not. So here's an invention by Philadelphia artist Bradley Litwin. These are his Mechanicards series, which he sells on his website. You can see by inserting the little thing and turning the crank, instead of being there in person giving the thumbs up, you can have the card do it for you. Ensouled objects can also help us educate folks. So here's an example of the extinction show from the Philadelphia Zoo that happened a few years ago. This was done in collaboration with Jim Henson Company, who created the puppets, and some of my friends who are professional puppeteers performed these characters. They're extinct animals that came back to life at the zoo to explain to kids what extinct animals are and why they're extinct now. Ensouled objects can help entice engagement. They can help us connect with not only our community, but other communities. So here in Chinatown, we have a wonderful history of these Chinese dragons performing on New Year's and other times during the year. A way to sort of entice people in and say, well, what is this community? What are they about? What are they doing? Well, what is this creature doing walking down the street? Ensouled objects can also help us explore philosophy. If any of you know the brothers Quay, they're a very famous twins who went to University of the Arts. They make amazing stop-motion films that are all very philosophical in their undertone. Their most recent production actually was a commissioned piece for the Mutter Museum. You can imagine, they already have sort of dark, twisted films. I can only imagine what they did with the Mutter. They can also help us keep up morale, right? I will say without a doubt, Philadelphia has the best professional sports team mascot anywhere in the nation. Come on, hands up. The Philly Fanatic is just a riot, and he can keep up morale like no other mascot in the nation. I think that tongue has something to do with it too, that he sticks out. They can also help us preserve history. So this is the Dickens Village now at Macy's. Chris Hillman is the man who helped restore this recently. But a wonderful sort of heritage of this animated history scene that was brought back to life. It was in such decrepit state. It's really nice that I can experience the same thing that my mother went to go see when she was a kid and have it look just as nice. They can also help us improve socialization. So here's an example of the Barber National Institute, which has a location here in Philadelphia. They've been studying using this nail robot to help teach children with autism how to emotionally connect with people. People with autism have trouble reading facial recognition or facial emotions, and so they're using the robot to sort of accentuate these motions to help train them to understand what's happy, what's sad, how to empathize with other people. Ensouled objects can also help us plan for disaster. I hope some of you have seen this before, the amazing smart swarms at the Grasp Laboratory at UPenn. They've actually spun this off into its own company now. Here they're imagining that these swarms are going to be able to go around and search for people who are maybe lost in rubble during a natural disaster. Ensouled objects can also train doctors. Now, this may look like just a plastic baby coming out of a plastic woman, but these are actually really amazingly technologically advanced medical mannequins. They have heartbeats, they have veins which you can actually practice sticking needles into. They can give you ECG readings, and it's a great way to train doctors without putting any patients at risk in the process. And finally, installed objects can help us connect with others. Now, this one isn't moving, right? It's not a puppet, it's not a robot. But the way that this advertising campaign, the With Love Philadelphia campaign, was structured, it becomes a personalized greeting from the city itself. The city itself is thanking you and welcoming you into the city. So what should Philadelphia bring to life next? I've got a couple ideas which I'm going to share with you, but I hope that whatever field you're in, that you consider how insouling whatever it is you're working on can make the product better, can help people connect with it better, and can help it function better. So my personal pet project that I'm working on now is creating a new mythology for Philadelphia. Bringing the city itself to life. I have to say, this is not a puppet I've built. It's someone I'm working with who does amazing, amazing work. So recently in the news, there were the rats that are in Rittenhouse Square that people are sort of upset about. But what if you just found a new way to spin that tale? What if the rats were there and they were actually saving the city? All of a sudden, they become an asset and not a detriment to Rittenhouse Square. Buildings. Okay, architects, this is directly to you guys out there. How about creating buildings with heart? But yeah. All right. So no, not literally a heart like the Franklin Institute. But how many of us love the home that we grew up in, right? When you love a place so much, you want to take care of it, and that can help you save energy by maintaining it. Education. How about in the schools? If we gave an automaton project to every kid, they'd be learning science, technology, engineering, art, and math all in one project. Plus, they'd learn storytelling, which I would argue is one of the more important business skills that no one teaches anywhere. Finally, perhaps the most important place that could help, and is a big business here in Philadelphia, healthcare. Healthcare, the hospitals are such sterile environments, and patients often have no idea what's going on. Could you imagine redesigning all of this technological equipment so that it was friendly, and that it explained to you what it was recording about your body, and what that meant for the doctors that were treating you? It could help the doctors and the patients connect more closely. So, as I said, I hope you will all consider how installed objects can be involved in whatever project you're working on, whether it's a puppet, robot, building, or something completely unrelated. Thank you so much.